stupid cars.
Oh my god, what do you want this time?
Well, guess what? As your roommate, I think that we need to have better Hot Wheels on the wall. None of these would ever make my collection. What I think the real cars are the muscle cars and the red lines.
Goodness, here you are again, talking about back in my day, they don't make them like they used to, and the cars of today suck. Well, here's some ones for you. Here's a Slyburn based on a red line. Here's the Custom Auto based on a muscle car. It was literally on the car packaging that you collected. Here they are, take them.
Damn, these look kind of good.
Hey, wait a minute. What about me and what about my needs?
Oh, you too?
I like hypercars and tuners, but none of those are on the wall.
No tuner cars? Hypercars? They have those too, man.
Ho ho! What about for me? What can I make some money on?
Get the hell out of here. These cars aren't for you. These cars are for us. They don't go for anything on the resale market.
Oh, get the f*** out of here.
The best Hot Wheels collections are the ones that reflect the collector the best and what they like and what they enjoy. There's a bunch of different types of people who like different types of cars and such, and they're getting into this hobby for the first time. And they might be looking at this and saying, what are these Hot Wheels original castings, these Hot Wheels fantasy castings? What are they? Well, why do they exist and such? And why would I like them? Well, today I'm gonna go and show you guys one type of fantasy Hot Wheels casting for each type of car person. For every type of car guy, there are Hot Wheels fantasy castings that could fit seamlessly into your collection. Maybe they just look like a more souped up version of a car that you like, or there may be something that's very stock and they can just fit right into a line of cars in your collection. So today I'm gonna walk through 25 different types of cars and a fantasy casting that each of you guys should check out and maybe add to your collection. Before we get into the video, a couple housekeeping. Definitely check out the last video that I just released, The Real Hot Wheels, episode 1 on Team Hot Wheels. It's a new series. Check it out. Let me know if you like that series or not. I'm gonna be doing those once a month. Like, subscribe, and let me know down in the comment section what you guys think of this video right here, and what type of fantasy cars would you recommend to different types of car guys as well, because there's definitely more than just one option for each of these cars. And definitely also, if you haven't, join the Discord down below. We have discussions on there, sharing collections, having great conversations, all that good stuff down there in the description. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. So the first group of different types of cars I want to talk about are 3 different types of Japanese cars. So the first one's gonna be like a more vintage JDM tuner type of cars. And that one is one that I've talked about here on the channel a couple of times. It's the Hako Type D, an 80s style tuner car right here. Has a lot of those tropes that you like of cars from that kind of initial D sort of era of Japanese tuners and drifters, right? It's got that right side drive, just like how you would expect a regular JDM car has. Very similar body style. You can just definitely see this thing racing against like a Mazda RX-7 or a AE86 Corolla, something like that. Next up, I'm gonna talk about Japanese trucks, and one of those is gonna be the mini truck. Now this mini truck, the driver is on the left side, so it is more, you know, adapted for, I guess, American style roads. But this thing here, I think it's actually based off of a Nissan hardbody, a slammed Nissan hardbody, and it's got a big boom box in the back here. Look at the detailed interior as well. It even has like leather padded seats. I mean, this thing would just be so much fun to drive in real life, and it even has like a slightly exposed engine there. So there's just so many parts of this car here. Now, unfortunately with this car here, it was final run in 2004. This is not a casting that's actually in production, so you're gonna have to get one of the older ones from the 90s or the early 2000s. But these things, again, they're not too expensive. You know, there's a lot of good decos also on these, and they capture that 90s and 2000s style really, really well. The 2000s tuners, you know, think of your Fast and Furious type of cars, you know, some of those drifting video games. It's the Super Tsunami, but we call it here on this channel the Skizinami because it's the channel mascot. Of course, you can see it in my channel art, and shout out to CZ who made that channel art as well. But as you can see right here, it's based off a Toyota Supra. It's got that big wing in the back right there, as you can see. It's got a modded hood. It's got a great stance to it. And there's a lot of really cool colors that came out of this casting. I love this one. It's one of my absolute favorite fantasy castings. And it's definitely one now that's become the channel mascot, one that I have a definitely appreciation for. But again, you can see this thing definitely driving against some Skylines, other Supras, and etc. Next up, let's go to America and let's look into some of the modded American style cars that we have here. And first is the Hot Rod, and the Mod Rod to me is a perfect example of this car. This thing right here, the exhaust pipe that comes out on the side here, the stance of the car, it's kind of bends between a rat rod and a hot rod. Like, it kind of has tropes of both. It's got a really cool looking exposed engine. And then some of the decos that this car has definitely fit the hot rod style of this guy. Next up is gonna be lowriders. You know that great lowriding California culture, and it's in the name. It's a lay-in lowrider, and I love this version in particular. This version right here with the green flames looks really, really sleek. You could just imagine in real life just the beautiful, like, sparkly paint that this green might have here. Very well detailed. These early versions have a moving part as well. And if you don't like this deco, there's a lot of other decos you can check out as well. The one drawback with this car is they have retooled it. I don't know if it's gonna be a permanent retool, and the engine is gone. So if you get a new one from the stores, you can get lay-in lowriders in the stores still, but they're not gonna be the one with the exposed engine. So you gotta get one of these older ones if you want that. Next up is gonna be a dragster, and I'm gonna go with the Nitro Door Slammer right here. The Nitro Door Slammer, if you're a fan of Hot Wheels, beat that. This is definitely a car that shows up in there. Very similar to like some of these like pro stock kind of cars that you see that Hot Wheels does sometimes as well. It's got great length to it, and it has that drag strip kind of wheelie bar here on the back. It's got great detailing. It's got some detailing on the engine right there, but it still looks sleek too, which I like a lot as well. So it's sporty yet aggressive, and definitely embodies what a Hot Wheels dragster could look like. And finally, for gassers, it's again in the name, the Passon Gasser. What a cool looking car. This is one that was designed by Larry Wood. It's got the same sort of tropes, small wheel in the front, larger wheel in the back, exposed engine. It could fit right in on the drag strip with any sort of gasser that is licensed for sure. And it's got those really cool gasser style decos that you would come to expect as well. Running on almost 20 years now at this point, which is pretty amazing. So a lot of great versions for you to collect, and still one that they're releasing to this day. All right, so if you're more into race cars, these cars here would definitely be for you. So let's first of all start with kind of more vintage style racing right here, especially vintage GT racing. And the Glory Chaser is a great example of this. It's got that same sort of size and that, that small stature that a lot of those cars from the 60s racers definitely had. It's got great detailing, which I love on this car right here. It's got the small wheels there as well. I love the scoops that it has here on the back. Very 60s style. It looks like what they kind of had in these 60s style cars. It was kind of that futuristic look at the time, and this definitely encapsulates that. And I love the colors on this first release as well. Next up, let's go to Rally, and the Rally Speciale to me is a great example because this one definitely has like that Lancia Stratos kind of feel to it, but it's a bit beefier, I would say. It definitely is a bit beefier. It looks like it can handle quite a lot on those off-road tracks. And again, it has, though, that sporty Italian style look, even in the name. It's, Rally Speciale, and so much detail that they've been able to just build into plastic, which I think is really cool. And this car right here, it comes in a lot of like rally inspired liveries as well. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit closer to actual rally cars, this thing, it does actually have some decos like that. Then let's talk about stock cars. And in my opinion, a great example of that is a Circle Tracker. So this one right here is based off a stock car from the late 2000s, early 2010s. I believe this thing was first released in 2010. And it's got, those great stock car tropes. It's got a roll cage in there, right? It's got that stock car wide body stance to it, right? It's got a scooped hood, which is really cool. It's got that nice little wing there at the back as well. And again, it just looks like this is Hot Wheels entrance into any NASCAR race. I love the body style on it, and some of the decos that came in as well. Again, very similar to actual like stock car looking decos with numbers and such like that. And then if you're like into kind of more like Le Mans style cars or cars like the Mazda 787B, I would suggest the Solar CX-4. Now this casting's been around a long time. I don't think it's been released in almost 15 years. I think the last one was in maybe the Hot Ones, which, you know, that was quite a while ago, those remakes. But this one right here had a lot of releases for about 20 years. And this car, it's got an opening part, it's got great decals, as I said. It came in a lot of different wheel variations because of the era that it was, you know, released in, and the fact that it was in the main line, it was in special series, it was in all sorts of different things here. I like this version right here. It's kind of like a late 80s, early 90s kind of inspired deco. And this is obviously one too that you can now play in Hot Wheels Unleashed 2. It's like this one right here, even though it was released way in the past, in the 80s, I think, for the first time. Definitely our fantasy fans community loves this one. It's one that's adored. Let's go into some vehicles with some size. And first of all, let's start with a van. And I just went over this car in the real Hot Wheels video about the Team Hot Wheels, and that is the Hyperliner. The Hyperliner, really cool. It's based off a Renault E-Space F1 van. Of course, that casting is actually in the 2025 Hot Wheels mainline as a debut. But this one right here, really cool details that they added to this. It has an opening part, and there's just so much going on here. Like, I can't imagine what it's like to drive a car like this. I mean, the size that this thing has, and yet the downforce that this car implies it has, and also it's even got some air intakes there on the side. What a unique looking casting this thing is. Next up, let's go with SUVs, and I'm gonna go with the Power Panel. The Power Panel is not one, surprisingly, that I get to hear about too much. It kind of reminds me a bit of like a Dodge Durango a little bit, but obviously it's lifted quite a bit as well. It came with some really cool decos, and if you're a customizer, this is a really good canvas to go ahead and put some cool decos on. It's got even that big wheel in the back, which I love. I adore this style of vehicle that has the attached wheel in the back. It's just such a cool looking design. Even look at those headlights that it has right there. It's off-roady, but also it does have those SUV tropes to it as well. So let's talk about Baja cars, and I think the Sandburner is a great example of that. So this casting right here, definitely you could go down some crazy off-road roads and such and do some off-road races with it. In fact, because of its stance, you could even bring this thing to like the beach, let's say, and you can even race around with it there, right? It actually can do some of those functions, which is really cool. I love this version. It's like the second year that this car was released. It came in this really cool black deco. Awesome extra wheel on the top here. It's got a really cool wing at the back, and it's even got some detail on the headlights. Next up is gonna be the trucks. So if you're a fan of like Rams, Silverados, Ford F-150s, I would recommend Mega Duty to you. Mega Duty right here was the Hot Wheels truck in the early 2000s. It was, of course, in World Race. It was in several Hot Wheels video games as well. And this one for me was maybe my favorite actually as a kid, because I loved trucks as a kid. Not quite as much anymore, but I loved trucks as a kid. And Mega Duty was my absolute favorite. Came in a lot of really good colorways as well. So definitely one you can stack up different versions of this casting, and they all look clean and good. Has that higher stance to it, but also it doesn't go too far away from like what a truck really is. And last, if you're like a fan of like the dub style cars, I would check out Boombox if I were you. Boombox kind of has like tropes that you kind of saw with like cars like the GMC Denali and the Cadillac Escalade, these sort of cars that had those big rims to it. The Boombox was kind of their response, and they have other decos in this one if this is kind of not your style. But this casting has great size. The stance of it's great because it sits pretty low, and it just feels like something fun to just pull up to a car meet in, right? So gotta give this thing a shout out, and don't forget that a casting like this exists. For my Japanese fans, I got one more to you, and this one's actually going to be a combo. It's going to be Bozozoku cars. And I got the Mad Manga and I got the Track Manga for you. So the Mad Manga was released in the early 2010s, and then the Mad Manga in the late 2010s right here. And this one has those signature exhaust pipes here on the back, the Mad Manga does, and came in very like Bozozoku style decos there, those early versions. And then Mad Manga came out later. It doesn't have those exhausts, but the same sort of body style, and again, some very signature decos that this guy came in as well. So these two as a pair, when you put them together, oh, they just look so good. They look so good. I can only imagine what like a Japanese car meet that you can create if you go and purchase a lot of these. Such a cool looking car. and definitely one, if you like that style of car, check this one out. Next up here, I'm gonna talk about a convertible, and that convertible is gonna be track tuned. Some great detailing there on the inside. It's got a cool wing in the back. This thing right here, you can just see yourself just going around a city or even like driving by the beach. Anything, if you're just trying to have a joyride, track tune is definitely your friend. I mean, this thing right here, I'd be blaring out music definitely out of this guy and just enjoying life. A lot of good decos, especially the first few years of this casting being released. And it's great in the Hot Wheels tracks as well if you want to go and race it. Next up, I want to talk about like supercars from like the early 80s. And I believe that the Aero Flash is a great casting like that. So if you like cars like the Lamborghini Countach, the BMW M1, this would be a cool equivalent from the Hot Wheels original side to add to your collection. This thing was out for a very, very long time. So this thing I think was originally released in the 70s, and then it stayed within the Hot Wheels mainline until the 2000s. This is the world race version of this guy, but it has those same sort of like cool body styles that you saw in those sort of cars back then. So this thing right here, great in the Hot Wheels tracks as well, and it's a great fit for your collection. And then finally, a short-lived casting, but one that I think is really cool for hypercar fans, and that's gonna be the Spin King. The Spin King was not around very long. The Spin King has a metal base, a metal body, and then a plastic kind of piece on the top here. So it's actually a decently heavy casting. Definitely has those hypercar style racer look to it, and I just love these first versions here in green especially. Looks so great, but again, it was only released for a few years and then it was gone, but just such a unique look to it. And actually, as someone who doesn't love plastic roofs, I think this one actually works really well as a separate piece there on the top. We got 5 categories to go, so let's go through these. So first of all, let's talk about hatchbacks. If you're a fan of the Volkswagen Golfs, Honda Civics, what casting is the one for you? Well, I think it's gonna be the Audacious. This is one that they released in the mid 2000s. All the tropes that you would want out of a hatchback casting right here. It's in terms of size, it looks perfect when you put it next to the Hot Wheels hatchback castings that exist. And this hatchback here definitely looks like one from the 2000s for sure. This is definitely one that would be a really fun ride, you know, to just whip this thing around town. Then for the vans, there was a really exciting drift van that I talked about in the 2024 new models video that I want to talk about again. And that's gonna be the Tracked Wagon. Okay, is it souped up? Yes. Does it have a cyberpunk style to it? Yes. You know, Dwayne Vance makes these cyberpunk style cars. I love them so much. So maybe it's not necessarily your thing entirely, but the body of this thing just looks so cool. And this is one of the fastest looking wagons I have ever seen. This thing right here's got great size to it. It looks speedy and fast and futuristic and everything. I mean, this thing just sparks the imagination. Just imagine going through a cyberpunk style city with this type of wagon. Okay, and then we have a few more from the American side. So I talked about Mod Rod for the hot rods. I also want to talk about a rat rod, and this one's an accelerator. It's going to be ratified. Ratified is not one of the accelerators I see talked about all the time, but I like this one a lot. I like the fact that the driver here sits on the side. I like the exposed engine that this thing has. It's got a lot of metal, this casting too, which is really cool. And of course, if you have an original acceleration version, you get the CM6 wheels as well. And these ratified accelerators, for an accelerator, they're usually not too expensive and too hard to find. Then I want to talk about modern muscle, and then we're gonna go to classic muscle. So the modern muscle is gonna be the fast fish. Now this one's kind of a mix, I would say. It kind of blurs that line between some of the tropes of classic muscle cars and then the modern muscle cars, especially ones from the late 2000s. It has that sort of muscle stance to it. These first editions in green, and there's another one in orange, they encapsulate this muscle style perfectly, right? Because these colors here were the type of colors that they would use back in the 60s and the 70s, but they look great also on a modern casting. They got great stripes there. It's got an exposed hood, everything you would want. If you're a muscle car guy, check these guys out. And then finally, classic muscle. So if you love classic Dodge Chargers, especially, I think, and the Plymouth Superbird and such, our friend from Hot Wheels World Racing Acceleracers, Taro Kitano, also loved those cars. And in Acceleracers, his car was riveted. And this thing right here is just a beast. Huge engine in the front, wing in the back, Same sort of body style, same sort of stance that you might see for a 60s muscle car right here. Love how aggressive it is, so much power that's going into this car. And again, I don't think that riveted, if you find one on eBay, they should be pretty common. So again, for an Accelerations car, not too bad. But also these cars were recolored over and over and over again over the next decade after that. So if you want to find one for your collection, should definitely be able to find one. And then one that's not a Hot Wheels, but I want to give it a shout out. It's actually a Zuru that I would want you guys to check out here. That's gonna be Poison Ivy. It's also been called a few other names, I believe, as well. But Poison Ivy, same sort of idea. It's got really cool exhaust pipes here on the side. It's got an exposed engine, same sort of stance that you might see. So definitely this one's a little bit more modded up than a classic muscle car. But I don't know, man. I love this guy right here. This colorway in this teal just looks super, super cool to me. So that wraps up today's video. What do you think about the cars that I recommended there, and which ones would you recommend to car guys? Definitely this is not every single type of car out there. So if you have other types of cars that you want to mention down in the description below and give a fancy cast that correlates with it, you definitely should do that. These are cool change of paces to put into your collection. And think about it also with the Hot Wheels designers, they're very similar to you guys. There's Hot Wheels designers that love muscle cars, right? And they've actually decided to make their own version of what a muscle car would be. Same thing with tuners, same thing with sports cars, etc., right? So these guys are kind of taking that same approach of what do I like in real life? And then how can we make it Hot Wheelsified? I know that's not a word, but how can we make it Hot Wheels and make it feel like a Hot Wheels car? So anyways, definitely like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you thought about this video. But until next time, thank you guys for your time today, and I'll catch you all later. Bye-bye.